The people who hate Trump hate Netanyahu, and the people who hate Netanyahu hate Trump. People who hate the United States hate Israel, and the people who hate Israel hate the United States. Never forget it. And we Jews and Christians, we are united. We're united by our God. We're united by the Holy Land, the ancestral sites. If there wasn't Judaism, there'd be no Christianity. And to be perfectly honest with you, if the United States had not been a majority Christian country at its founding, the writing of the Declaration and the Constitution, there would be no Jews in the United States, or for that matter, any other minority. It's because of the Judeo-Christian value and belief system that we have the country we do, that preaches tolerance and diversity. Look at your First Amendment. It's cited all the time. Do people really understand it? The free exercise of religion, but no official religion. That's the big distinction between Christianity and Judaism and Islam. Here's Benjamin Netanyahu. It was either last night or this morning. Just brilliant man. As you know, maybe you don't. He and I went to the same high school. Now, we're 7 years apart. He and his brother who was killed at Entebbe, a great hero. He was injured in war too, by the way, in the shoulder. So he knows what death is like in the family, what casualties are like. He put out a statement, I think it was last evening, which would be this morning our time. And here's what he had to say about them re-entering Gaza. And by the way, within the first 10 minutes of re-entering Gaza, they hit 80 sites with massive air power and killed a whole bunch of the leadership of Hamas. So while Hamas was building up during the so-called ceasefire, Israel was preparing for a massive attack. Go.
Hamas is responsible for this war. It invaded our towns, murdered our people, raped our women, and kidnapped our loved ones. Hamas refused offer after offer to release our hostages. In the past 2 weeks, Israel did not initiate any military action in the hope that Hamas would change course. Well, that didn't happen. While Israel accepted the offer of President Trump's special envoy, Steve Witkoff, Hamas flatly refused to do so. And this is why I authorized yesterday the renewal of military action against Hamas. Israel does not target Palestinian civilians. We target Hamas terrorists. And when these terrorists embed themselves in civilian areas, when they use civilians as human shields, they're the ones who are responsible for all unintended casualties. Palestinian civilians should avoid any contact with Hamas terrorists. And I call on the people of Gaza, get out of harm's way, move to safer areas. Because every civilian casualty is a tragedy. And every civilian casualty is the fault of Hamas. I thank President Trump for his unwavering support for Israel. Our alliance with the United States has never been stronger. To those who criticize Israel, I ask, what would you do if terrorists murdered and kidnapped your children? You would do what we are doing. In the face of pure evil, free societies have no choice but to fight. So I want to assure all our friends around the world, Israel will fight and Israel will win. We will bring our people home and we will destroy Hamas. We will not relent until we achieve all these vital goals. And we will not rest until we give our country a future of peace, prosperity, and hope.
You know, as I listen to him, ladies and gentlemen, it's interesting, isn't it, that they're telling the civilians in Gaza, in Arabic, in every communicative way they possibly can, we're going to hit these areas, get out. Hamas, when it comes to Israel especially, they want to hit the areas where the civilians are, and they don't want them to get out. Now that to me is the black and white, good versus evil, right versus wrong distinction right there that almost anybody should be able to understand. And if the Palestinians don't want war, don't attack Israel. It's that simple. If the Palestinians want peace, don't attack Israel. If the Palestinians want prosperity, don't attack Israel. Don't vote for Hamas. In other words, This entire blood culture, and it's a blood culture, is the reason for all of this taking place, period. And President Trump is doing a fantastic job. Netanyahu is coordinated with the president and his administration. That's publicly stated. The president's had it with the Houthis, who are attacking American ships, commercial and military, through navigable waters, through the Red Sea. And, of course, the Houthis are backed by Iran. The president has made it clear that he knows who's doing what. The president has moral clarity. He's not playing games. Netanyahu has moral clarity. It shouldn't surprise anybody, then, that the Marxists in Israel and the Marxist Islamists in the United States want to topple both of them. The people who hate Trump hate Netanyahu, and the people who hate Netanyahu hate Trump, for the most part. People who hate the United States hate Israel, and the people who hate Israel hate the United States, for the most part. Never forget it. And we Jews and Christians, we are united. We're united by our God. We're united by the Holy Land, the ancestral sites. If there wasn't Judaism, as Mike Huckabee says, as Pastor Hagee says, there'd be no Christianity. And to be perfectly honest with you, if the United States had not been a majority Christian country at its founding, the writing of the Declaration and the Constitution, there would be no Jews in the United States, or for that matter, any other minority. It's because of the Judeo-Christian value and belief system that we have the country we do, that preaches tolerance and diversity. Look at your First Amendment. It's cited all the time. Do people really understand it? The free exercise of religion, but no official religion. That's the big distinction between Christianity and Judaism and Islam. Christianity and Judaism are not political faiths, they're religious faiths. Islam is both. As our friend Zuhdi Jasser, who's one of the great civil rights reformists of the Muslim faith, and there are many, many of them, we just don't get to hear from them. We only get to hear from CARE and other Hamas front groups. He calls it political Islam. Political Islam. Judaism and Christianity aren't political Judaism, political Christianity. There's a faith, there's a belief system, a belief in God, and while Christians may be political, or Jews may be political, while they may hold public office, President of the United States, Christian, in every instance. It informs their morality, it informs their decision-making, it informs their views. And it informs them in such a way that they don't seek to impose their religion on the society, even though their belief, their faith, their values, and their principles serve them well as they serve that society. I hope you understand what I'm saying.
For all this and much more, sign up for Levin TV.